I don't know if this is accurate information, but is it true that WakeWell offered to pay for the prize purse of the women on the Pro Wakeboard Tour? By the smile I'm judging, there might be some truth to this.
Yes. Yeah. WakeWell did offer that.
I approve waterboarding. They're talking about wakeboarding. The thing about wakeboarding, every trick is an invert.
Backside,
air railing.
a new dimension.
We are back. Another episode of the Grab Matters podcast. Today we welcome on a very special guest, Mark Heger. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, like the slacks, but
Slacks.
spelled differently. Yeah, Heger slacks.
Never heard of them.
What?
Are they quality? Carhartt style? I mean, are they good?
No, it's like dress pants, like
Yeah.
like
Okay.
khakis, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's Haggar. I'm Heger.
Heger.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll look into those. I only have one pair of pants currently, so
If you're living in Florida and you're doing it right, you
Yep.
don't need any slacks.
that's true. That's a great point right there. Good quote. I'm going to use that. All right. I think we start off with a few quick questions, but we're going to start off with the most important question before we get into some other stuff, which is, what's your favorite grab?
Yeah. So first, before I answer, I do want to say thank you for having me on. I've listened to a lot of the episodes. I love what you're doing. The podcast is crushing it. And man, wakeboarding is lucky to have someone like you that's just carrying the baton forward. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Favorite grab to do would be a stalefish. I love a good stalefish.
Okay.
And if you're really going to press me on it, I want to do toe side stalefish.
Okay.
Because I like coming across the body,
Yeah.
doing
Getting
the
a twist.
doing the toe side one, pulling it back. That's
So you're
probably-
not doing toe front one with stalefish. You do just toe side wake jump, stalefish in the middle, bring it back down.
Yeah.
I love that one. I also love doing the indie. You go up indie.
Oh yeah,
Bend the
yeah. A
knee
little
down.
indie poke
Mm-hmm.
towards the wake you're going towards. Yeah.
All right. And then what were you going to say?
So that would be my favorite grab to do.
Yeah.
But my favorite grab to watch, or you just can't argue with a great method.
Yeah.
Like it's timeless. It is the grab
True.
that should be everyone's favorite. That's the correct answer.
Interesting.
So
No wrong answers, but that's the right one.
exactly.
I like that. Well, there are two wrong answers, actually. Tindy and tailfish.
Yeah.
Nellen is up there, too.
There's yeah. Honestly, there's a whole list of wrong answers that we could come up with right now.
I was very wrong when I just said that there were no wrong answers. There are.
Yeah.
All right. So we got favorite grab. Let's, I think we dive into kind of who you are, because some people probably know you as the dude who announces a lot of wakeboard contests, stuff like that. But how did you get into the sport of wakeboarding? And yeah, just run through that whole early days, because I've heard you're a student of the game, so you've been paying a lot of attention to wakeboarding. So kind of run through how you got into it.
Yeah, well, I'm only a student of the game because I was raised on the streets in the game. So, my name is Mark Heger. One of my personas is Mark on the mic, at all the events, doing the announcing, all that stuff. But man, really, I grew up just like at the right time. So I started wakeboarding very soon into like kind of the beginning of the sport. Like as Wakeboarding magazine started producing issues, like I got into wakeboarding very soon after that. Like I grew up in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and my family wasn't like, we weren't into water sports. Like my parents weren't like avid water skiers or anything, but my grandmother had a boat and we would just go out and have fun on the boat. And then my parents got some Sea-Doos and were like, oh yeah, this will be a cool activity to do. And then one day I think it was my mom just like went to a Sun and Ski Sports or whatever the board shop was, and just saw a wakeboard, like a directional, it was a Hyperlight hot rod, and I still have it, and was like, oh, that looks interesting, that looks fun to try. I bet Mark would have fun on it, and just brought it home, and with that board we actually got issue 1 of Wakeboarding magazine. So they like the shop like gave you that issue, and
the first ever issue of Wakeboarding magazine. correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Wow.
the knee board, the knee boarder doing the flip and Darren doing the Rayleigh behind it.
Interesting.
So yeah, so got that first wakeboard and just like fell in love with it, and then got to read the magazines. And so I'm like an elementary school kid, like looking at these magazines, just drooling over like the lifestyle, the tricks, the people, the pros, like everything. And so, man, I really am just a product of growing up in the right environment at the right time. Like I fell in love with the sport so early and have never left.
Yeah, it's kind of like a defect. I have the same defect too. You fell in love with it, and then it's got you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the only reason I'm still here and still getting to do so much of the stuff that I get to do is because I refuse to leave.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go anywhere else. Wakeboarding is where I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you fall in love with it as a kid. What's like the next middle school, high school, college age years of your life look like in terms of wakeboarding? How often you go and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I started taking it pretty seriously, at least in my own mind. Like I was a wakeboarder. Like from the time I stepped foot on that first wakeboard, I was a wakeboarder. Like everything revolved around wakeboarding. Like when I had school projects in elementary school or junior high or whatever, like I would write about wakeboarding. Like I would doodle wakeboard tricks in my notebooks. Like any excuse I had was I would use it to do something.
Always bring the conversation back to wakeboarding.
It was just, that was it. And so, so in junior high, I like started getting lessons and everything. Shout out Brian Sasser in Dallas Fort Worth, taught me like so many tricks. And I actually grew up like riding with Joey Arches and Joey Bradley and Dustin Swafford. And like, we had this incredible crew of dudes that, man, like it was unbelievable to watch these guys do what they were doing and aspire to be like, oh man, maybe I could do that. Like the first 900 I saw ever in person was Joey Arches. Like it was just such a sweet time. So sorry. So I in junior high, I start competing, I start taking lessons, I start learning more tricks, and then by high school, I'm like all in. Like I stopped playing club soccer. I stopped playing school basketball. I put so many of the other things that could have been places where I spent my time. I put those aside and was like, dude, I'm a wakeboarder. This is what I want to do. And so, newsflash, I'm 6'4" in high school, probably like 150 pounds, maybe. Like
skin and bones tall there.
Dude, I'm a praying mantis. I'm just a baby giraffe on a board trying to do something, right? So like I was never great. Like I had a handful.
What are we talking? Let's talk tricks. What are we talking?
I had a handful of like tricks that I considered like big tricks, and were kind of big tricks at the time. Like I could do all the tantrum stuff. So I could do T to B, whirly, Moby Dick, like those were
okay.
Those are pretty standard in my runs. And like spinning, like dude, I'm a baby giraffe. So I've got like 7 axes up and down my body that I have to keep straight. Spinning was never my forte. But I could do heel 5, switch 5, toe 5, all the like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Got a back mob in there a couple times, and so yeah, I'm never gonna be the most talented wakeboarder. I'm never gonna be the most stylish wakeboarder.
It's tough with tall guys, dude. I'm not as tall as you. I'm kind of tall, and it's just hard.
Dude, I'm trying.
It's a lot of body to move around, man.
I'm trying, and I'm hanging out with these like tiny dudes like Joey Arches, who comes up to my belly button, and they're crushing it. And so yeah, it got to the point where, man, I was just stoked to be around it. Like I would go to contests, and I would either win my division or I would come in dead last, because I just had the run that I wanted to do, and that's what I was hoping for. And so, it really just like consumed everything from my thoughts, my activities. Like all I wanted to do was be on the water, but we didn't live on the lake, so it's just a haul. Like we had a lake house and still do, but it was, an hour and a half away from the house. And so it's like, okay, so my mom would pick me up from school, drive down to the house, and in the car, I would do my homework. She would pull me, I would pull her skiing, and then we'd do that till dark. And then I'd do the rest of my homework on the way back. And so, it wasn't easy. And because we weren't this water sports family and we didn't live in Florida, or, we didn't know that there's like people that, do this every day. Like they're out there all
Twice
the time.
a day, mornings, nights. Yeah.
And so, I think it was 2001 Nationals came to Dallas. And I entered into Nationals, and I was like, oh, okay, dude, like here's my chance. Like I'm a freshman in high school.
I was gonna say, what age you talking?
16.
14, 16, yeah.
I was 15, 16, somewhere in there. And I was like, okay, it's Nationals. Like this is where they learn the name Mark Heger. And I'm in a heat with like all these Florida dudes. Like the only guy that I remember in my heat was Wes Briscoe.
Oh, okay.
And I got smoked by everyone. Like didn't make it to day 2. Nationals, it was like there was like a qualifying, then semifinals, then finals. I didn't even make it to the second day. Like I got just
bounced.
Yeah. And it's not because I didn't ride great. It was like everyone else, the level of everyone else was just so high. And so then going into college and everything, it was like, okay, like I still am super into this.
Yeah.
But like my reality had set in a little bit.
We're doing this
more.
for fun.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, like, because as kids growing up, I feel like there's always the dream aspiration of like, I want to be a pro wakeboarder. I don't think I ever had that person, because I just knew. I was like, dude, you ain't got it. Like, and you're never going to have it. So like, just have fun doing it. And so I was wondering, I always wonder with everybody, did you ever have like when maybe at Nationals, you're like, yeah, they're going to learn the name Mark Hager, I can be a pro. And then you get to college after that and you're like, all right, this is just fun.
So I actually had one other like opportunity that I saw in my mind. I was like, dude, this could be it. And so growing up, I was like sponsored or flowed on Hyperlight. So Tim Pelletier, Ronix rep, like the greatest Ronix rep of all time. Tim Pelletier, before Ronix was a company, Tim worked for Hyperlight. And so, and he was my Hyperlight rep, and he was flowing me boards, and so then when Tim left Ronix when Tim left Hyperlight and Ronix kind of split out and Ronix started doing their own thing, Ronix hosted this event called the Amassault.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I have it in my head, like it's the delusional mind of a young man is an amazing place to take a peek behind the curtain.
Craft any stories up in that little brain.
Oh yeah, dude. And so, here I am. I was probably a sophomore in college. So I'm like 19. I don't know. Still 6'4", 6'5", like, not built for wakeboarding, built for slalom skiing, but
chose the better path.
But just have wakeboarding on the brain, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I'm going to Florida. I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to go to the Amassault, and I'm going to get sponsored by Ronix. Like, this is it. It's this new company. They're starting it. Parks is going to be there. Danny's going to be there. Like, this is my chance. I'm going to go to the Amassault. And actually, fun fact, in Au revoir, Raph's movie.
Wow, you said that very well. I could never.
Au revoir. So in Raph's movie,
Yeah.
there's a little tiny section of like when he's talking about the Amassault, because that's when Raph and Ollie I think they both got put on Ronix right then. But there's a tiny little clip where it shows a group of people on the dock, and I'm there. And so I like one of the things that I challenge people to do is like, hey, dude, I'm in Au revoir. Like I'm there. You just got to find me. Like just look real hard. So it's in that little section of the Amassault.
Dang.
You can see me on the dock.
About to get absolutely slaughtered by Raph Durham.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm probably at that point, Raph and Ollie were young.
Yeah, they'd be little kids.
Yeah. Julian Cohen was there. Yonel Cohen was like probably a toddler.
These kids got some time on board though.
Oh, dude. And so, again, I'm going to this place like, okay, like this is where my shot happens. Like I'm ready, dude. I didn't, it's like, it's laughable looking back at it. And, it's, yeah. So it's just funny, like how we dream up these illusions of what we envision we want our place in the sport to be.
Yeah.
When we're actually faced with the reality of like, no, like, come on, dude, I'm never going to be a pro rider. So I got to find a different place to be in this industry.
Yeah. That's interesting because I feel like some people just kind of quit the sport when that moment doesn't happen where it's like, okay, I'm trying to be a pro. And then it's like, no, you're not going to be a pro. You either give up or you just like, you have enough determination where you just like, you ignore them.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe it does. But like, it's nice when you can just have that realization of, okay, that's not the path, but I can still do the thing, which is awesome.
Well, and for me, it was truly just this like deep seated love.
Yeah.
Like my identity was, and to some extent, like still is like so much like a part of this sport that I grew up with. Like it's not a line. It's not like something that I, say often, but like wakeboarding was truly like my first love. Like that was what I fell in love with. And it was also my best friend. Like I grew up with wakeboarding. And so to imagine having to part ways with that, it was unfathomable. Like I had to figure out a way to stay because I don't want to leave.
Yeah. I have a question. Will you ever stop wakeboarding?
Some people in my life would tell you that I already have, just because I don't wakeboard as much as
That's not stopping.
I used to.
That's not stopping.
But like my wife likes to take jabs at me and like, so when was the last time you wakeboarded?
When was the last time you wakeboarded, Mark?
What month are we in? We're in May.
End of May.
Okay, so I wakeboarded last month. I did not
In April.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did not wakeboard in May.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you were gonna say like a year and a half ago.
No.
Some Derek Grassman answer, which he did wakeboard the other day. So he's good now.
Did he wakeboard or did he foil?
No, he wakeboarded. He has POV clips on a cable board.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he went to Heger.
He's good.
He rode.
He's good.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Shout out Derek Grassman.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, never gonna stop wakeboarding though.
No. I'm wholeheartedly convinced that there's tricks that are so ingrained in muscle memory that it's like I can do a back roll when I'm 70, like because it's
do a front one forever.
Yeah, it's
nice
effortless.
grab
Like,
front one.
It's gonna happen. Like you don't have to think about it. It's
Slash
just
the wake.
Yeah, it's autopilot.
Yeah.
Go out there and rip the cable and just carve. Like, dude, it's the best.
Why would I stop?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy when you put it like that, right?
I just wouldn't.
Why would you stop? All right, so you're in Florida though. You're a Texas guy. What are you doing in Florida? What are you doing here?
Yeah, so one, like I probably need to give shout out to Dan Jarrett because Dan was actually the guy that like started to try to introduce me to you and
when was this?
And probably you to me. I don't know if it was reciprocated, but so I've known Dan for many years, and so Dan was always like, "Hey, Mark, like, there's this podcast, there's this guy, his name's Hunter, like you, I think you guys would be like, you'd really like each other, and he's into like the history stuff, and you like love the history of the sport, and like, you know, just all the like weird facts and everything." And so I feel like Dan has encouraged me to reach out and try and come on the podcast and do that often. And so so then I was looking at my schedule this spring, and I was like, okay, well, I'm coming to Florida like just a couple times. Like, I'll reach out and see if it could happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, we missed our schedules.
It's tough.
Our schedules didn't line up, and you know, and I'm only here when I come to Florida. I'm here for a weekend.
Yeah, you said 3 days pretty much is what we're looking at.
It's quick, and so this time I'm here for stop number 1 of the Malibu Riders Experience. That's happening tomorrow and Sunday, and I'm just there to announce. So I am announcing all of the Malibu Rider experiences this year.
There's quite a few, isn't there, too?
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 of them.
I thought it was more than that, but okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of the
Just Ride Tour.
Just Ride Tour.
That's what I was thinking.
There's a ton of those.
Yeah.
The Rider Experience is a 2-day contest where they do wake surfing, they do wakeboarding. There's also a demo day on the front end of everything, and it serves as the regional championships as well. So those are the regional events, and then you go to those and get to qualify for nationals, and then you go to that and qualify for worlds and all the stuff.
Yeah, and we'll get into announcing a little bit because I've got a lot of questions on that, I guess, because not many people have announced a lot of, you know, wakeboard contests, right? You can kind of, on one hand, probably kind of think of, or you know, maybe a few more than that, but like it's not many.
Yeah.
So I've got some questions on it, but I think before we do that, we dive into the LF'n Wheel of Questions presented by Liquid Force.
The LF'n Wheel of Questions.
Okay, let's go.
So if you go ahead and grab that wheel down, bring it down here. You have long arms. Some of the shorter guys have a tougher time getting that thing
Yeah,
down there.
hey, take that, wakeboarders.
Yeah, take that, Ollie Jerome. There you go. Full circle. Liquid Force likes to make wakeboarding fun, so let's make this podcast a little bit more fun by spinning the LF'n Wheel of Questions. So go ahead and give that a spin, and we'll see what she lands on. Steal a trick.
Oh,
Classic.
Man. Steal any trick
Any trick from any person.
from any rider.
And the new caveat is they don't have that trick anymore. So you took it from them.
oh, man.
They do not have the ability to do it anymore. And I think you could pick a few if you want. You
Yeah.
can kind of go like time frames because
Yeah,
probably got a lot to
so
stick out.
growing up with the circle that I rode in, I would have stolen Joey Bradley's melon roll to revert. I mean, it was a work of art, and probably still is. Joey Bradley, I don't know if you know Joey, but gosh, I mean, he just made everything look so good. And he had this roll to revert that just like, he grabbed it forever, and
Love that.
and just it was beautiful. So that's like, growing up, that was like the trick that I wanted.
Yeah, if you're on the boat with that guy, you're like,
Yeah,
give
it's
me
like
that.
I could
Give me that.
do a roll to revert, I could do a half cab roll, but I can't do it like Joey.
Yeah.
Like I want Joey's roll to revert. But now it's like, I mean, dude, like you know, your brain starts going through all the riders and all the tricks, and it's like, dude, I would steal anything from Massey. It doesn't even matter. I would just take.
Yeah.
I would take what he would give me. Just give me anything, man. Yeah, Massey, Tyler Hyam. Yeah, I mean, both of those dudes. Sam Brown, get real.
Yeah.
I would take La Familia. I would take
Steal them.
Yeah.
That means they're gone, you know.
Yeah,
They're gone.
They're gone. You're mine now. No Familia needed. Just
They're
soy.
going to know the name Mark now.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Okay, those are good ones. Let's do LF'n Wild Card from the group at Liquid Force. They're wondering, or the crew at Liquid Force, what are your thoughts on snakes?
I love me some snakes.
I got a couple people that were saying
Yeah,
to say this. So yeah, I don't know personally where this is going to lead.
yeah. I mean, we all have snakes, right?
Maybe.
Yes. So I am a animal. Like, there's a couple things that I know a lot about. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I know a lot about just a couple things.
Yep.
One of them is wakeboarding and wake history and water sports and all that stuff. The other one is animals, specifically reptiles, even more specifically snakes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I'm just like, since I was a little kid, like just loved nature, loved animals, like catching frogs, catching snakes, catching lizards. Like that was where I spent my time when I wasn't able to wakeboard.
You know, I think snakes are a very polarizing thing. You either love snakes or you hate them. There are no people that feel indifferently about snakes.
Yeah, that's probably an accurate statement. I would agree to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have, like had this menagerie of like catching animals, keeping them for a while, and then releasing them like when I was a kid. And then when I got married and, I was like, I have my own money. Like I have
adult money.
Yeah, I can do my own stuff. Like you can't tell me what to do. I was like, dude, I'm gonna get back into snakes. Like I love them. I think they're super fascinating, and so I'm gonna do it. So I did, and it's turned into like a pretty awesome business that I do. So I
Go on.
Yeah, so I breed and sell snakes as like a side hustle that helps fund like parts of my life.
What's the snake market like?
Dude, the snake market it's for me, it's great. Yeah. I don't know what it's like for everybody.
I mean, I guess like you breed a snake and I want a snake. What do I got to buy? What do I got to pay for one of these snakes?
So, it's like, hey, if you want a dog, you can spend $5 on a dog on Craigslist, right?
Sure.
Or you could spend $100,000 on the like most championship bloodline, German Shepherd that, comes from all the whatevers. So snakes and reptiles, like it's no different. There's the whole range. The stuff that I do. So I have a specific species of snake that I keep and breed. They're green tree pythons. And I work in like high end like designer level.
Where the money's at.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not doing this to just waste time.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend time doing it, I'm going to, dabble in the good stuff, So, yeah,
High-end snakes.
if you want a snake from me, it's at the lowest point, like bottom of the barrel. It's going to cost you around $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll go, no ceiling. It can be as high as you want it.
Because you don't know what it's going to, they're different every time, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I don't know. Hit me with a snake fact.
What do you want to know?
Like a fun fact.
Yeah.
Like a fun snake fact. I don't know anything about snakes. I personally don't like them.
Really?
No.
Man.
They creep me out. Not that bad, though.
Yeah.
But just, I guess maybe I'm in the middle then.
Well, yeah, maybe you're in the middle. But, here's the thing is I feel like people in wakeboarding and water sports, like, man, we're in the water, And so for me, like I grew up like around water snakes all the time because they're like just like everywhere. Yeah. And so instead of being, it's like the little kids that are like, I don't want to jump in the lake because there's fish in it. The fish are going to get me. It's like, no, that's ridiculous. Like the fish,
they're just swimming.
They're just swimming. They don't want to get you. And I would make the argument that snakes are no different. Like people say like, oh, the snake chased me. And no, dude, no, it didn't.
It doesn't. It's so much smaller than you. Why would it chase you?
Yeah, it doesn't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
So just leave the snakes alone, man.
Snake fact. You got any snake facts?
I got
snake fun fact.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't, that if a non-snake goer like myself.
Yeah, sure.
If I heard it, I'd be like, wow, I didn't know that about snakes.
Yeah. Okay. So a snake has a forked tongue, right? And that's what they use to smell. So they have a Jacobson's organ, which is in the back of their mouth, on top of their mouth. So they have the forked tongue, right? In order to like smell which way the stuff that they want is. So it's forked because it goes left and right. So it's sensing left and right, and they flick it up and down to see if it goes up, if like they need to go that way or that way.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they're smelling in that like 3D realm of going, okay, if I can taste it more on my left side
That's interesting.
and going up, then I need to go up and to the left or down to the right or whatever. So that's why they flick their tongue and pull it back
That's why
in.
it's split.
So yeah, that's why.
That is a snake fun fact.
There you go. And this fun fact was brought to you by snakes.
What's your snake company name before we move off snakes?
Yeah. So
Hager Snakes?
no,
Snakes
no.
Are Us?
The snake name is Texas Chondros.
What's a chondro? Is that a snake?
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's the genus name of the type of snakes. So
There you go.
genus species. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good wild card. I didn't expect to go down that snake
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
So they slither down that path, if you will.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Was that a Garrett Cortez Liquid Force question?
I can't reveal my sources on
Oh.
where that came from.
Hey, I apologize.
That's the crew at Liquid Force. We'll say that because some of them are a little bit
Yeah.
more pointed than the others, so I can't
Yeah, sure.
disclose. You know. All right, let's go ahead and put this elephant wheel of questions back. Thank you to Liquid Force. Obviously, Brostock is back. If you haven't heard, you're not paying attention to wakeboarding. It's happening on June 27th and 28th at Lake Lanier Olympic Park. If you're in America and you don't have anything going on, you have to be there. Are you going to be there?
I am going to try my hardest to be there. I
almost as good as being there.
Yeah, I desperately want to go. My problem is scheduling. So
Always.
I'm booked like the 2 weekends before. I'm booked the weekend after, and so that was like my one weekend to like be home for a little bit. And I was just talking to the crew at One Wake, who's helping to put a lot of the stuff on, and I told him, I was like, dude, if I stay home, I'm legitimately going to be sad that I'm missing Brostock. But
Peak
if I
FOMO.
but if I go to Brostock, I'm going to be sad that I'm like not getting that sweet time with my family at home.
Counter argument: 52 weekends a year, only one is Brostock.
That's true. Hey, well, I've been to Brostock before,
So this is all more reason to come back. We need vets. We need the vets coming out.
and that might be true.
There, I just manipulated you into that. I just bullied you into doing it.
Well played. Well played, Hunter.
All right. Speaking of events, announcing, all that stuff, I want to get into announcing. And we'll get back into wakeboarding too, obviously, and announcing will kind of go hand in hand with this. But how did you get into the whole thing of announcing? Because it's just fascinating to me how people get into announcing.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, there's not very many people that that would consider themselves like career announcers or whatever in wake. So I got into announcing first doing it at my local cable park. Like that's how I stumbled into it. Is we were doing points chase and stuff at Hydrus in Dallas, Hydrus Allen, Hydrus Little Elm, and I just kind of volunteered and said like, hey, dude, I can jump on the microphone. I can help out. I can call the tricks. I know the tricks. I know the riders. So let's just have a fun time doing it. And so I got comfortable doing it there at my local cable. And then Nationals came to Hydrus, I think in 2014 or 2015. Cable Park Nationals, or then I think it was still Points Chase Nationals, came to Hydrus Little Elm, and Dano came, and the WWA came, and they had their crew, and I think I reached out to Dano, or either I did or Chad Lacert, the owner of Hydrus, or Cody Johnson, who was kind of the GM there, and I don't know who said what, but eventually it was like, hey, Mark is like, he knows a lot of the Texas riders. He's announced, a lot of our local stuff. And so if you need help on the microphone, like he's familiar with all these little rippers. And at the time, I think Dano was still like, he was still just not super comfortable with all the like high tech cable tricks. coming from the boat background, where I was a cable rider and doing the tricks and learning the tricks. And so I was able to help out by knowing the riders and knowing a lot of the like more tech tricks. And then Dano is just like, you know, he's the energy. He's the best, like, of all the announcers that ever have been or ever will be. Dano is the best. Like there's no one greater. But yeah, that's where I started, was at that nationals. Dano graciously let me sit next to him, and we had 2 microphones, and he and I clicked really well together and could feed off each other and, you know, announce without stepping on each other's toes and just go back and forth. And it was so much fun. Like we had a blast doing it. And then, Blake Hess was still doing points chase stuff. And so then Blake started asking me to announce some stuff down at TSR. And then, we did another points chase nationals, either the next year or the year after in Terminus, and Dano couldn't go to that one. And so it was just me. And that was where I like got to like kind of step out on my own and do like some of the bigger announcing, just for the cable side of things. And then there was another time where the Pro Tour came to Dallas, and I was just hanging out. Like I was just a fan, and Nick Weinacker was announcing. And so during one of his breaks, I just said like, "Hey Nick, if you need any help on the microphone, like, you know, I'd be happy to help, jump on or just fill some color." And he's like, "Oh yeah, come on, man." So he invited me up, and then the crew, I think it was Supra at the time. It was right after Supra had acquired the Pro Tour, and so they heard me and Nick going back and forth and how well that happened. And so after that event, or like even getting off of the announcer's booth, they came up to me and were like, "Hey, that was great. Like, who are you? First
Great,
of all,
but who are you?
Yeah. First of all, who are you?
How'd you get up there?
Why are you here and don't get up there again? Second of all, could you come to the next event and help us there?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so it really just like, I wanted to be there. I wanted to like help out and serve however I could. And I had put in enough reps at my own cable and just getting comfortable on the microphone. And so, and then it just right place, right time, like the opportunity happened. And I got to learn from the best. I got to learn next to Dano. I got to learn next to Nick. I got to, you know, I grew up watching, you know, Hot Summer Nights and everything on ESPN and listening to Tony Finn. And so it really was like just kind of this thing that happened. So, organically, like I didn't try and force any of it. It just happened. And now it's where I am.
Well, that's kind of what you want too, right? Because I feel like with announcing, you have to have a good voice. There's a lot to it, I'm sure. And so if you kind of force it, it's like, well, are you really the right guy for the job? But if everybody's saying like, "Hey, that was good. We like listening to you. You know what you're talking about." And it's like, okay, this is obviously a natural fit. Like, this is working.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's like, there's a lot of people that think that they're going to be good at announcing because they know the tricks and they know the riders.
Yeah, let's get into this.
And dude, like calling the tricks is the easiest part. Like, you know, anyone can call the trick. Like it's all the stuff in between. It's filling in the sponsors. It's talking the right amount without talking too much. It's filling the gaps. It's all the like the little pauses and then, you know, drawing something out to fill the space. And it takes a lot of work. And I'm not saying that like, "Oh, hey, my job is so hard. You would be terrible at this if you ever tried." Like, no, but it's so much more than just calling the tricks. Like that's the easy part.
I was going to ask, like, what's the easiest part, I guess, or the hardest part? Like, because when I think about calling a contest, the tricks to me, I think would be, I guess the easiest quote unquote part, because you've seen all these tricks happen all the time. Well, it could be hard in rapid succession to do it. You've seen them all the time. You kind of know what you're looking for. And so like the hardest part, I guess, what is the other side of that? Is it the color of it? Is it like, yeah, what's the difficult part of the non-trick part?
Yeah, it really is like saying the thing you want to say eloquently. Sometimes it's written down in front of you, like if you're at a Supra event. Supra has a whole sheet, like a whole booklet of things that they want you to say, and they want you to say the right way.
Interesting.
About the event, about their boats, about their athletes, like about the sponsors of the event, like because the sponsors have paid to be there and they're paying for time on the microphone. And so you want to say the stuff, but you want to say it in a way that doesn't feel like you're reading it, and you want to do it like organically, and then you don't want to do it too much because then people don't want to listen. And so you
that's the balance that I think is a hard one, because I feel like you listen to some events and it's like you feel like you're just listening to the names of the tricks and then everything else is an ad.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no value add for the listeners here.
Yeah.
There's no point in listening.
Well, and then even, if there's replays, like, dude, then you have to, like, it's not just talking about the trick, it's talking about the details of
Breaking
the trick.
things down.
Yeah, the like analyst part of the job, where it's like, well, dude, see, you can actually watch where he took off from the wake a little too early and that he didn't get quite the pop, or he slipped the grab right there, or he was going for this trick, but he had to settle for this one. And if you're just calling tricks, you don't know all that stuff. Yeah. But when you study it and you've done it, it's like, oh, okay, I know in the mind of the rider what they're wanting, what they're trying to do. The pressure they're feeling on certain stuff. Like, ultimately, I think for me, my mindset with announcing is I'm announcing for like 3 different audiences. I'm announcing for the spectators at the event, and that's all about hype. Like, I want to get the energy up. I want to have like everyone stoked to be where they're at. Like, you're at a freaking wakeboard contest. Like, This is awesome. Check out what's happening right here in front of you. So there's the live event audience. There's the live stream audience, or like the after audience that's watching stuff, on video or whatever.
Sitting on their couch, hanging out.
And that's much more of the like, hey, let's analyze what's going on here. Like, you're sitting at your home, you're watching this somewhere. Let's have a conversation about what's going on. Like, and so there's that element of it. But then the other part is, man, I'm announcing for the rider and for their families and their friends. And like, I'm doing it for them. And so, man, I want to encourage that rider in everything that they have worked for and everything they're trying right now. Like, I don't want to say a bad thing about them. I want them, like, that's their time to shine. And I want to do it justice for everything that they've worked for. I want to call every grab correctly. I want to call every trick correctly. I want to dive into their mindset. Because that's their time. And man, they've worked so hard, whether it's a pro rider or an amateur rider. Like, man, I want to give that same energy, because it's like wakeboarding and action sports in general. Like, it's so individualized to where, man, when it's our time to ride, like, that's like, we are on center stage. Like, it's Mark's turn right now. And I want to make little Mark feel like $1 million when he's out there. I want him to feel the same as Nick Rappa when he's leaving the dock. Like, that's the goal, is encourage the heck out of the rider, so that whether they do exactly what they wanted or not, they know that there's people cheering for him, that they're like, that even if they fall, like, man, the crowd's behind them. Like, there's people watching because they matter.
Would you say that that's, because I'm not sure I 100% agree on the pro side of things. And the am side of things, I agree. Would you say maybe on the pro side of things, there's a lot more room for criticism and I guess maybe criticism. Yeah, I would say is the correct word. Like that's definitely not what he was going for there. If it's very obvious, like
Yeah, and I think you have to do that in the higher levels of riding for sure, but doing it in a way that's still encouraging and caring for the rider. You know, like we all love ripping on our friends. Like, you know, it's like,
oh yeah,
yeah, amen. But you know, and I feel like if you go to a lot of like grassroots contests where they just have like some homie doing the announcing, it's like a lot of it's going to be ripping on people. Like that's where I see a lot of announcers or like people that get put into announcing where they get this like power surge. Like,
well, they got an audience.
Yeah. Like, oh, I gotta be funny. And the way that I can be funny is just ripping on my friends when they don't do what they want and talk about how terrible they just did, or, you know, and so with the pros, it's like, man, yeah, like let's talk critically and analyze what they're doing. But man, I want to do it still in a way that is honoring to them, that's loving them, that's showing them like, hey, dude, I'm paying attention because you're on the water. And even if that means saying, dude, he missed the grab.
Yeah.
But, you know, still like, hey, but I'm watching closely enough to where I'm noticing.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. So, okay. I got a lot of questions on announcing. So let's say hypothetically you got a live stream. Do you need 2 people for the live stream to be entertaining?
Do you need it? No, probably not. I mean,
would it be
not? Hey,
I guess,
not if you have Mark on the mic there.
Maybe,
but it helps.
I guess basically that's what I'm getting at is like one person just talking is very difficult. Obviously, if you're very good at it, you can do a good job at it. But like, for a listener, for me, I guess it's easier to hear a conversation than it is like I don't know what you call one person talking to people, but like,
yeah, honestly, like I think one of the better setups for it is actually what the Pro Tour is doing currently.
Run through that, I guess, for the people who have
so
not paying attention.
Just full disclosure, I'm not announcing for the Pro Tour this year. You know, they didn't ask.
I think they got LF'n Parks.
Yeah,
so, or at least the last time they did.
Well, so they have one guy doing live at the event. Okay, so he's like there for the live crowd and
which I think is very good.
Over the speakers, like doing that hype
Building
stuff.
Building the hype,
Yeah. But then that's not for the live crowd. It's just for the live stream. They have Alexa and Parks that are doing the analyst type stuff. Yeah. And then, you know, I think Parks and Alexa do a fantastic job because they're just having a conversation about it. You know, they don't have to say, everyone look at the water as this guy's coming in, get excited, let's cheer him on. No, they just say, oh man, you can see right here as he's cutting in, he got all the pop on that trick. He grabbed it all the way through, landed bolts, and then they cut to him on the shore and they get to talk to him about it. And so I like having that, like the live announcer to like hype up the crowd at the event, but then also having the like analyst in the studio. Yeah. Like I think that is
analyst with the color.
And that's a great way to do it.
I think I guess what I'm getting at is I don't think you can have the live announce guy, hype man, also be the person that does the live stream. They're just so different.
It's really tricky. And so like I was just at an event for Centurion, a surf event, like 2-3 weeks ago. And I asked them, hey, you have a live audience, but you also have a live stream. Who do you want me to play more to? Like in the way that you want me to deliver all the action.
So you're doing
that's
both
out
at
there.
once.
Yeah. So I'm the only one doing it. But it's based on what the event producer wants. I'm gonna adapt and change and say, okay, great. I will cater more of that energy towards either the live stream or the live crowd, or try and mix 50-50 for both if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, I show up to events and I try and give people what they want. I do what I'm told and I say what I'm told and I try and do it to the best of my ability. So you want me to say it like that? Great.
Well, it's their product, whatever
Yeah.
they want. I think it's an extremely hard thing to do. So if I was saying like obviously a blank check, if you're doing an event, I would have two separate. If you're doing a live stream as well,
Yeah, it helps a ton.
Yeah, it's got to help a ton.
For sure. But it's more expensive. It's more crew.
Adding more
It's
money.
Yeah. It's more cameras. It's like there's more moving pieces to that for sure.
I got a question for you. Where do you think the live stream plays in for a lot of these events? Do you think some events do live streams and you look at them and you're like, man, I don't think there's like a value to the live stream. And then do you look at other events where you're like, man, there's no live stream here. I think there is a value. And then like, where does that value come in, I guess?
Yeah. I love the live stream because if we don't have it, like, then where's the sport? Like,
The event only existed basically for the people that were there.
then it's only the people that were there got to experience anything. And that sucks from someone who like wants, I want to know about every event. I want to know all the stuff like, when Red Bull Wake the City was in, Italy, in Milan.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they had crazy pictures coming out of it. And there was like iPhone shots of riders that were like showing, and it was the doubles I was like, dude, this is sick. Like, I want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was I feel like it was a bummer that there wasn't a live stream for it.
Red Bull doesn't see the value in it for those events. Yeah.
Right.
Which is interesting. It's just, that's why I'm curious your thoughts. It's like, it's so fascinating because you said the surf event was live streamed, right?
Yeah.
That's totally different than Red Bull Wake the City. And like, I think a Red Bull Wake the City event is obviously probably more entertaining if you were to live stream it. It's different people doing it, but yeah, I guess where do you see the value still?
Yeah. I do think there's value because one, I think it honors the athletes a ton. Like even the young riders, the amateur riders, like, dude, they're like, I get to go ride behind a boat that's filled with pros who are probably judging, like, and I get to go like re-watch my run afterwards,
Or
and, like,
tell
and
aunt, uncle, mom, sister,
Yeah.
whatever.
tell
tune
my
in.
family who couldn't come or is in another state or wherever that they can watch it, and or my friends, like, dude, I can go back to school the next day and I can show all my friends how I stomped my run. Like that's the kind of thing that like is gonna stoke the sport.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's really important when it's possible to have live stream at the event just for that, like just to stoke out the riders and the families. And I think it's huge. I realize that's not always, within the budget, or like, dude, live streaming is still, it's not easy to do at a high quality.
That's the kicker right there.
You're gonna, it's like you want something done fast, cheap, and high quality. Well,
Pick two.
Yeah, pick two. You can only do it, for two of them.
Yeah, that is the tough thing. It's such a hard thing because I feel like everybody wants to live stream their event. Everybody wants to, but then you look at the dollars and the cents of it, and you're sort of like, where are we going to take this money out of? Are we going to take it out of the purse? Well, that doesn't really make any sense. Are we
Yeah.
going to take it out of the event staff? Definitely can't do that. Like, so we just go without. And sometimes it's fine. I think it is
Yeah.
totally fine. But yeah.
Well, and it's like, does every tiny, like, rail jam at a cable park need a live stream? No, probably not.
Yeah, there wouldn't be value in that. But
Yeah.
the bigger ones for sure. Yeah, I think there's a lot of value. So, all right, we got a Patreon question from Jacob Simmons. So thank you to everybody on the Patreon. Shout out all you guys. Jacob's on there. He had a two-parter here.
Oh, here we go.
First one, what is your favorite contest you've announced at?
Uh,
Number one.
Yeah. So we were talking about this earlier, and my favorite contest to announce at has been Tennessee Wake Fest, just because it is unlike any other contest. It's so unique in every scope of that contest. It is a contest that if you wrote it down and handed it to someone and said, hey, here's the ideas I have for a contest, everyone would laugh at you and say, that's a dumb idea. There's no way. This contest will never happen. So it's in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. You fly into Nashville, and it's easily like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive into the sticks of Tennessee. Then you're in a place where there's no cell phone service, literally no cell phone service. Leave your phone in your car because you can't use it. And then you have to get on a boat, which is not provided for you. You have to bring your own boat and then drive in that boat a minimum of 20, 25 minutes in order to get to the event site because you can't access it by car. There is no shore that people can stay on. The only way to go to this contest is by boat. And so you think like, dude, who is going to show up for that?
Yeah, nobody's going.
Not a chance. Like that is a terrible idea for a contest. Try again. And it is unbelievable. It's the best contest vibe-wise. Like, dude, you've never seen this many wakeboard boats in one spot. Like, combine all the boat shows that you have ever been to your entire life, and you still have not seen this many wakeboard boats in one place. It's unbelievable. The boat line is 2 rows, a mile long. It's crazy. And then they have these houseboats that are all behind it, where that's where I am on top of one of the houseboats under a tent announcing this thing. And all the boats in the boat line are backed up to the boat line, so their platforms are facing the course. And then the speakers of the boats are facing the course, and they turn, if the boats aren't playing their own music, then there's a device that they have by me where I'm announcing. They tune into the frequency on the radio. So all the boats are playing the announcing and the music that like we're playing, through the speakers.
Yeah, 98.7 WAKE.
Yeah, absolutely. Wake.
That was so corny.
That was it, dude. It was pretty good off the cuff. And so then as the riders are going up and down the contest line, it's like they're in this stadium where there's people cheering, like the announcers are blaring back and forth. And it's the most fun, like crazy contest that should not exist, but it does, and it works. And who knew? But it's killer. It's one of my favorite contests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you went through all the details of what makes WakeFest because I haven't been there, obviously. I think it's awesome. I think 50 G's helps a little bit too. And it's kind of like if you build it, they will come, right? And they've built it.
Yeah.
And so now it's every year. People know.
Yeah. And the shootout format is crazy. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever talked about it on the podcast.
Not recently.
So they have the traditional contests where like there's all the divisions. So they have amateur all the way up. There's no wake surfing. It is a no wake surfing contest.
Maybe that's why it's so good.
Yeah. I'm
saying.
I'm just saying. It's all wakeboarding, all divisions, and even pro divisions in a traditional format. Okay. So 4 tricks down, 4 tricks back. But then in addition to the traditional format of the contest, they do what's called the shootout. And the shootout is only the pros can ride in it. And then whoever wins the outlaw division gets to ride in it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you win,
so there's a name that's not going to be.
So if you win the outlaw division that has, ridden earlier that day, you win the outlaw division, dude, you get a free ticket into the shootout.
That's sick. That's cool.
That's sick, right? So then the shootout, they put all the pros on a like big party pontoon boat and they drive them down around the corner. So they can't see the course. They can hear a little bit of like the crowd cheering, but that's all. They can't see what any of the other riders do. Then they draw names to see what order they go in. So it's random order. One rider comes down at a time and they get 4 tricks. And it's winner take all, best 4 tricks. And so like there's no like you can't base your strategy off anything that you've seen yet because if you go off the dock first and I'm last, I have no
I could have
idea.
fallen on my first trick for all you know.
Yeah, and if you fall, you're done.
I love that. This is all great.
Yeah, if you fall, you're done. It's the best 4 tricks if you can get that far.
Yeah.
And so there's like, do you come out swinging? Do you throw your best 4 tricks and hope for the best, or do you play it safe? And
There's probably a whole mix of that going on throughout everybody.
What are the conditions going to be like? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then it's a winner take all thing where whoever gets it like walks away with the whole check.
Yeah. And then obviously there's a huge party afterwards, which is part of it too.
It's definitely part of it.
So yeah, that's cool. So Jacob Simmons had a second part, and you might have just touched on it, but what direction would you like to see the future or see the wake contest scene go towards in the future? Kind of an open-ended one here.
What direction would I like to see the current wake contest scene?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think the contest for the most part, like I think the format is relatively good. Like I think there's parts of the history of the sport that we need to keep true to, in a sense, like the 4 tricks and 4 tricks, like 2 passes and 1 or 2 falls. And I really like the Pro Tour does this in the finals where the pros get instead of 1 run with a fall where they get picked up, they actually get 2 runs and no falls. So the rider goes off the dock and they, again, 4 tricks down, 4 tricks back. If they fall, that pass is burned. It's done. It's over.
Kind of as it should be. I don't understand how you can have a fall in a run. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's very like snowboard style. Like if the snowboarder bobbles or touches his hand or whatever, they just ride down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's like, and so it's, I like that.
Let's keep it moving
because it's like, hey, dude, that wasn't your best. All right, get back in line and go give us your best. And whoever's the best on that day, great. So I like that, but it takes up time. Like having 2 runs that burns more time.
True.
So this isn't going to answer that specific question, I don't think. But what I would like to see in the contest is when I was growing up back in the 1900s, I could have been at a different grassroots contest every single weekend of the summer. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, every weekend I could go to a different contest. I could go around Texas. I could jump up to Oklahoma. I could go over to Louisiana. Like every single weekend there was something.
Within driving distance of you, yeah.
Yeah, there was something to go to. And they were put on by local boat dealers to just get people together, have a good time, throw a big party, and get people out on the water. And I would love to see more of that. It's like we used to have INT, and now there's just not as many opportunities for new people getting into the sport to become participants of the sport. I feel like over the last couple of years, especially with COVID, with so many people buying wake boats and wanting to get into surfing and wakeboarding and whatever, like surfing too, like it's great that we have so many people that have just come into the sport. But if we don't have a way to turn them from just like enthusiasts into participants, then it's not a sport.
Yeah.
We have to turn them into participants. And I believe that happens through like a larger contest, whether it's a series or not. Like, parents want to fill their time, like the kids' time, with something
productive. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, dude, if if there's not a contest every weekend for your kid to grow up riding in, then they're going to fill that time with something else that they have to fill their time with. And so it's going to be soccer or basketball or baseball. Like they're going to play baseball every weekend because that's filling the time. And so I don't want contests just for contest's sake. I want contests to
Build the base.
Yeah, to build the base, to grow the participants, to take people from enthusiasts to participants.
So why do you think the dealers stopped? Do you think they just kept selling boats and they're like, stop doing the events, and they go, well, we're still selling boats and we're not doing the events, so we don't really need to do these events?
Yeah, I think that's some of it. You know, I don't know.
We can't speak for all the dealers and all their reasons because there's a ton of them, a whole slew of them.
And there are some dealers that do still get it. Like Tennessee Wakefest, that's put on by a dealership. You know, there's plenty of small dealers, and not even small dealers, but you know, dealerships that are putting on regular contests and are getting back into that. And I think that's rad. I just know that for the last X amount of years, especially like, you know, post-COVID, dealers haven't had to sell boats. And I'm not saying that, you know, the contests were ever, you know, a grassroots contest. Are they selling a bunch of boats? Is that really like a big boat selling opportunity for them? So maybe they saw like that there's not boat selling value in those. Like it's more of just a
definitely
tip of the hat to the customers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have to talk to some dealers on that one.
Yeah.
A lot of the dealers are also owned by bigger, you know, groups like Marine Max or One Water. And so that's probably harder for those individual locations to be like, hey, Marine Max, we need X dollars to do this event.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to really sell any boats that day.
Yeah. We need some budget. We're going to take all of our sales guys out of the shop and we're going to go make them stand by a lake.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, I'm not trying to say that it's an easy fix, and that idea from Mark Heger is going to fix the industry. Like we're all happier now.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's right. But I do think that's one of the elements that is missing a lot. And why I think cable riding is you know, grown in popularity is that, man, the cables are able to host those events with ease for the most part. It's like,
have a spot.
Yeah, man, we got a spot. We got the riders. Let's just tell them. Just say, hey,
pretty much.
Yeah, we're going to host something, and we'll put together some ragtag team of riders to judge it, and this will be a great time. Like, so obviously there's a ton of different moving parts with boats and venues, and you know, trying to find a spot to host people, and but it's happened before, and I know that it could happen again if people wanted it to.
Yeah. Yeah. More dealer events would be awesome for sure. I agree with that. I think that'd be sweet. All right. I think you touched on Texas. We've been talking about Texas scene. What's happened in the Texas scene? What's happening in the Texas scene? Kind of run through, I guess, because we're talking cable a little bit too now. So
yeah. Well, before we do, can we open your gift? So
absolutely.
I brought you a gift bag.
Oh wow, there's a lot in here.
Yeah, there is a lot in there. And there's one part that I really want to emphasize. There's a lot of WakeWell stuff, which I'm sure we can talk about at some point.
Yes, we're gonna talk about WakeWell. What's the? Should I grab the thing?
So the magazine on the bottom is what I want to reference first, because I know
Very bottom.
Well, no, that magazine
This.
on top. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
So
sorry for the listeners.
I was at my parents' lake house over Memorial Day weekend, and just, you know, looking through stuff, and found this old issue of Wakeboarding magazine. And this was when Trans World actually had acquired Wakeboard magazine. And I was like, oh, dude, like flipping through the pages and just seeing how young some of my friends are, and so cool. But the rider spotlight, Tom Fouché. And so turn to like, I think it's like page 58 or something.
If you nailed this right now, this is gonna be wild.
It's like,
you didn't nail it.
Oh,
I'm
shoot.
sorry.
Well,
I really wish.
I think it's before.
Is it before?
Yeah,
I was really
before
hoping.
Conquered.
Yeah, here we are. It might be 40.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right here.
Big text.
48. You were 10 off. That's all right.
My fault. Yeah. So yeah, just I texted that to Tom and I was like, dude, look at what I found. Like this article with you as the writer spotlight. And yeah, just super cool.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's there's another really funny article in there. It's interviewing some of the best boat riders and asking them to rehash their best contest run they've ever thrown. And it's guys like Harley Clifford and Rusty Malinowski and you know, like dudes that were contest guys, right? Yeah. And I look on the front of the magazine. What year was this? Was this 2013?
Does it not say? Oh, it's on the.
Yeah, it's on the spine.
2011.
2011.
2011.
Okay, so it's pretty fascinating to look at like what Harley Clifford says was his best contest run ever in 2011.
Yeah.
And go, man, I don't know how much further we've really pushed. Like we've definitely pushed further, but was Harley like that far ahead of his time, or like, come on, guys. Like, I think we need to push a little harder.
Interesting.
Because Harley, like, dude, it's got like 5 doubles and 4 9s and, you know, all the Mob 5s. And it's like, dude, that run would still hold up.
Yeah. I've always wondered about Harley, if he just came back on the pro tour, like how he'd do.
I think he would do just fine.
Think he'd do all right? I think he'd do all right too.
Dude, watching Harley ride.
Maybe actually, I don't know.
There with most of the pro riders, like I watch them enough, especially throughout a season, where it's like by, you know, however many contests in the year, it's like, okay, I kind of know what their run is. I can anticipate as they're cutting in, you know, what stance they're in, you know, heels or toes. I'm like, okay, I know what trick they're doing before they do it for a lot of them. Harley, not a chance. He would change his run every contest. Like he had in the finals, he had 6 different runs that he could pull out at any time to do just what he needed to do to win. He was insane. Like Harley really was the real deal. Yeah. He's easily one of the best contest riders that's ever been on the board.
Oh, easily. One of the best wakeboarders to ever do it. So we got this. There's a lot of stuff, so thank you for all this. But what is this framed, the inside?
Yeah. So this was legitimately framed in my room at the Heger family lake house. So the inside was a article that Alliance used to do, just like, you know, these were like the goofball days of Alliance. Like, hey, let's just do the funniest stuff we can think of. Like when you're talking to Jeff McKee about some of the like stuff that they would do.
They blew up a fat sack as big as they could.
Do, you know, eat 3 hamburgers and land 7. Like that's the type of stuff. And so this is, I don't know if you were around or if like the fingerboards, you know, obviously there's like tech decks and stuff, but there was an era when there were finger wakeboards and they had real like rubber boots that you would like stick your fingers in. And so the dudes at Alliance, they built like rails out of cardboard and like straws. Like those are like,
straws on the top. Yeah.
Soda straws. And so they built
PVC.
a whole like course on a table and like had to do the best run. And they took the article so serious of like, so Matt Staker goes out and does backflip front 2 and lands it, but a little sketch. And like talking about these fingerboards, and they have pictures of it. And so it says across the top, it says it's all fun and games until someone pokes an eye out. And I just thought that was like the funniest thing. So I framed it and like have had it on my wall forever. And I was like, dude, this is a Grab Matters studio.
That is sick.
That needs to go on the wall somewhere because I think it's hilarious.
There's just so much gold in those old Alliance articles. We were just talking before we started recording, actually.
Yeah,
which is so funny. I didn't see this one.
Yeah, so you have the full gallery of Alliance magazines. That one's in there somewhere. I don't know.
This looks like a little nose blunt or something going on here. It's pretty.
Yeah, dude, they got funky, you know.
Well, it's all fun and games until poke your eye out. That's the worst that can happen with fingerboarding, and probably wake surfing too.
Wear eye protection.
I don't even know if you could do that wake surfing. All right. Well, we're talking artifacts here. Go ahead and pull this off real quick. I got some trivia for you, Mark.
Let's hear it.
I heard you're a student of the game, wake nerd, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
So I've got around 10 questions here for you.
Yeah.
And we're going to, what's in here actually?
That's a coffee mug.
Coffee mug, sick, okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Little WakeWell coffee mug.
Drink from the well.
Drink from the well, dude.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I am self-proclaimed wake nerd.
Self-proclaimed is still proclaimed.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love the sport. As I get older, my memory of the sport fades more.
And excuses are starting early, Mark.
It's because, dude, you intimidated me going, oh, yeah, like we have these trivia things that we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and they've been way too easy. And so I dug deep for these.
Yep,
so
sure did.
Buckle up, Mark.
Yeah, and if you get all these, I will be thoroughly impressed. We got 3 different sections. We got videos, contests, and then we got kind of some random stuff. So we'll start with videos.
Okay,
There's
great.
only 2. Only 2 questions here.
Okay.
Who had the opening section in the movie High Wake Drifters?
Oh, dude. It has been a minute since I've watched High Wake Drifters. I don't know.
This was one of the easier ones, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I don't know. High Wake Drifters.
Yep. You might be able to think yourself into this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of just kind of the riders back then. Opening. Who do you know the song?
No.
That might put me there.
I do not know the song.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. Let's say
Yeah, throw a name out there.
yeah, let's say Byerly.
No. Greg Nicrasen.
Greg. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in that movie, though.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on in that movie.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
What was Randall's ender in Natural Born Thrillers?
Natural Born Thrillers.
His ender trick.
Okay, so it's actually really really disappointing every time I watch. So I have VHS of Natural Born Thrillers, and Randall's part in it is Bomb Track, right? Like the song, and then there's another edit
There is.
that has an alternative song, and I'm like, no, I hate this. Stop.
You talked to Sean Kilgus. I talked to him a couple weeks ago. He said this whole thing.
Oh, I hate it. I hate the second edit. I don't want to hear it. Because Bomb Track is so iconic. Okay, so the ender of Randall's part, I believe, is heel front 3 off the double up, but his back foot is out.
Nailed it. Love that one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He doesn't stick his foot out
No.
or anything. It's just out of the binding on the board.
You can't even tell. It doesn't leave the board.
It's only until when he lands and it's he's riding away and the camera shows.
and all of a
you're
sudden you see leg, boot.
yeah.
And you're like, what? How? Because you would think if you're going to take your foot out,
Stick it out.
these days, it'd be grab it, poke it, do Benihana style.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking oh my God, he left his foot on the board, but he did it off a double up.
Yeah.
And
Huge.
he's going 27 miles an hour,
There can't be an ounce of grip tape on
20
that
feet
thing.
in the air. Have you ever tried to stand on a wet wakeboard with this
Yeah.
dude's insane. Yeah.
I'm glad you got that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So, hey, one
1 for 2 so far.
for 2.
We're good.
I'm 50%.
Um,
That's Hall of Fame numbers, by the way.
in baseball. It is.
Yeah. You're hitting 50%.
You're getting a max deal.
Absolutely.
Contest.
Okay.
Who was the first woman to win Munich Mash?
Whoa. Okay.
So
So,
little cable action.
yeah. Admittedly, I am much more of a boat history nerd
I did know that.
rather than cable.
The rest will be mostly.
Who was the first woman to win Munich Mash?
Yeah, this one you can think yourself into as well.
Yeah. I'm thinking hard.
It's a German event,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. My gut wants to say Julia Rick.
You'd be correct.
Yeah. And fellow Ginger.
We'll get into the ginger thing too in a minute.
Oh, my fault.
No, you're good. You're good. You are correct, fellow ginger.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said that she's my twin.
Well,
Do you see it?
can I just say it feels it feels great to sit across the table from somebody who shares the same passion and the same hardships.
Yeah, I'm glad you put it that way.
Yeah.
Because you're right.
The,
It's a tough life out here.
amen. Amen. So
Shout out Julia Rick, 2 for 3.
hey,
Heating up.
we're doing it.
You thought 50% were Hall of Fame numbers. All right. In 2017, how many pro wakeboard tour stops did Harley win?
Oh gosh, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
There were 4 pro wakeboard tour stops. How many did he win?
yeah, do you know what they were? Do you know what stops they were?
I do.
Like, you know what cities?
I do.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
Well, I don't know the cities. Alabama and Ohio. I think it's Birmingham, Alabama. And then the Ohio one, I thought it's in my tongue, but he got like a 99 or something there. Pretty sure. He had a really high score.
Ohio. That doesn't seem right.
Right? It didn't seem right when I saw it either. Like West Levitt or something. I could totally be wrong on that. It's
Yeah.
Ohio, though.
Because I think I was the announcer for 2017 Pro Tour. I think
You
I
should
was
know.
there. So I should know. You said there's 5 stops.
4
that year?
stops. 4 stops.
4 stops.
Or at least 4 stops that he rode in.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the safe bet if Harley's doing it is he probably won all 4, and got himself another guitar. But I also, so I believe I remember that year because there was one of the contests. It was probably the last one, and he won the Pro Tour guitar, and Buckman. Do you know Buckman?
Buckman Ferguson.
Dude, Buckman. He was
This is where I got this information.
really
What the
oh,
wakeboard site.
Hey, shout out
obviously.
Buckman. So Buckman, I would announce, and then Buckman was like my stats dude in my ear. So he would tell me like, hey, like if this happens, then this would be whatever. And so one of those, I think it was probably 2017, I got to hand Harley his 20th guitar. So that means he won 20 Pro Tour stops at that point. Like, that's insane.
That was my next question.
Oh, really?
Was what year did Harley win his 20th Pro Wakeboard?
Was
Tour
it
stop?
2017?
2018 is when he
Oh,
won
okay.
his 20th.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, dude, it's probably Harley Clifford battling it out with Mike Dowdy. Man, I'll say 3 out of 4 stops.
2. He got 2.
2?
2.
Sorry, Harley.
Yeah.
What? I'm not sorry. Harley, I thought you won 3.
Yeah. You almost thought he won 4.
And you know what, Harley? If it would have been my scorecard, I would have given you that extra one.
You would have.
Yeah.
You would have manipulated the contest.
Absolutely.
Take one away from whoever won.
I love secretly judging contests.
Well, it's the best for you because you're announcing, so you can secretly judge.
I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's going to be mad at me for the results.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everybody hates the judges, but the announcers.
Yeah.
You're just talking about it.
I'm just talking about it, man.
Yeah.
I got opinions.
Kind of going back to cable. In 2009, who won Red Bull Wake Lab in Tempe, Arizona?
Whoa.
I don't know if that's how you say Tempe, but
Yeah, Tempe.
we did.
Red Bull Wake Lab. It feels
That narrows it down.
Yeah, it feels like a Raf Jerome thing because if Raf was there, 2009.
That's a little early for our Raffy boy.
Yeah, it can't be. It's too early for Raf. Probably someone like Henshaw.
Henshaw's a very good guess, but it
Okay.
is not Henshaw. I'll give you one more guess.
Would it be Tommy Fouche?
It would not be Tom Fouché. It would be J.D. Webb.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's kind of a sleeper, sneaky one there.
That creeps back into the memory somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, JD Webb, Rail Rider of the Year, I think twice.
Really?
Yeah. Who'd have thought?
Probably 2009, I would assume.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Got 2 random ones.
Okay.
Texas related. How many cables are there that are currently operating in Texas?
Do you know this answer or are you asking?
I'm asking.
Okay, great.
Including 2.0s.
Oh, well, I mean.
To the public. Open to the public.
Open to the public. Okay, so we
I
have,
don't even know what there are.
yeah, we got TSR down in New Braunfels, the Texas Ski Ranch. We've got Hydrus Little Elm. We've got BSR. So that's 3 full size.
Is that it?
And there's
Oh, that's. I'm not gonna say it. You're missing like an obvious one.
I am?
Yeah. If they're not open anymore, that would be very awkward for me right now. Synonym to mission.
It's a mission?
If you're on a mission. Quest.
Oh, yeah,
Quest is open, right?
Dude, Quest is open. Quest is one of those sneaky ones, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I always forget about Quest, but I love riding there.
They're only open Memorial Day to Labor Day, right?
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's a sick spot to ride.
It looks fun.
I love riding at Quest. It's got this like natural shoreline along the back, and you can do like this huge just soul carve, and there's like rocks and stuff out there.
Sick.
It's cool.
Yeah, looks like fun.
Yeah, Quest is rad.
So we got any else? Just those 4?
I think it's just those because we've lost a handful lately.
I've lost a handful.
R.I.P. We used to have 10.
That's
you know
crazy.
that? We used to have 10 full-size cables in Texas.
Where'd they go?
I don't know, man.
What happened to them? Do you know?
They go where all the old cable parks go.
Mike Olson's backyard.
Yeah.
What year? Last one. What year did Wake Nation Houston open?
Oh.
Bonus points if you get when it closed, and double bonus points if you know where that cable currently is.
Oh.
Triple bonus points if you know who built that current cable too.
Okay. Wow.
There's a lot of
There's a lot of bonus points
on the board here.
for a question that I probably can't answer.
You gotta know what year it opened.
Yeah. I'm not great with years.
Yeah, me
that's my problem. Is, I'd take a shot at it. Probably say Wake Nation Houston. Probably around that like 2010-ish, 12-ish.
Yeah, you're close. 2012.
Yeah.
Do you know where that cable currently is? And do you know who built that current cable? Rebuilt, I guess you should say.
No.
That cable is in South Haven, Michigan.
Okay.
Built by Josh Potter, Mike Olson, myself.
Nice.
I helped him out.
Nice.
So it has some new life to it.
There you go.
Yeah. So a little interesting fun fact there for you. You did well.
Okay.
Those were tough.
Yeah. What did I get? I
didn't really keep track. If we're counting the cable ones, which I think you do count. So yeah, you're definitely around half, maybe more.
Hey,
so
I'll take it.
that's good.
Again, Hall of Fame numbers.
All right, I think it's time we do another segment called the Slingshot Silhouette Challenge. We're in the quiz mood, the guessing mood.
Yeah.
So
my brain is working right now.
this is presented by Slingshot. So I've blacked out a rider, and you have to guess who it is.
Okay. Well, they are on a Gator board.
Correct.
I believe that is the Gator Cadillac
Wow. Okay.
or the
Impressive.
Caddy.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, Gator Caddy. Man, that is quite the shot. Is this a screen grab from Transgression?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that.
But you do know who it is.
I do know who it is. He's been on the podcast. I can give you a massive hint if you want.
Yeah, sure.
There's a video out there called "The Pro That Never Was."
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kyle Alberts.
Yep.
Yeah, sick. I mean, dude, that's a tough one. I don't know that I ever would have got it from just this pick.
It's tough.
And I don't know where the screen grab's from, but I know Kyle Alberts, and that dude can shred.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you to Slingshot for that. So you're doing pretty good, I would say. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about WakeWell. You got a WakeWell shirt on. You touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people out there who have no idea what WakeWell is. So maybe paint the picture of the
Rude.
entire. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Pay attention,
You're
people. I
you're
guess.
not wrong, but it still hurts.
Yeah.
So WakeWell is a ministry that is geared towards sharing the love of Jesus with the people of Wake. And the way that all came about, so going back, I grew up in an era where like the wake scene was as good, as crazy, as wild as any of the action sports scenes out there. Like it was live fast, die young, party hard, like just go for it in all areas of life. And despite growing up in Texas, I didn't grow up going to church. because I grew up going to the lake. Like that was way more important to my family on the weekends than going to church. So I didn't grow up going to church at all. Like I grew up in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, with some of the biggest churches. There's churches on every corner in Dallas, and I didn't go to any of them. And my friends all went to youth group, and they would tell me about, all their stuff. And I was like, yeah, you guys are lame.
I just landed Whirlybird.
Yeah, I can do whirlies and Moby Dicks. So yeah, take that, junior high kids. So growing up without like any like positive influences in my realm of wakeboarding, and then I didn't come to know Jesus until basically my senior year of high school is when someone finally, I was at a Young Life camp. If you're familiar with Young Life, it's just a youth ministry organization. And someone they finally told me about this God who's crazy about me and crazy about you and everyone else. And I was like, dude, this is the greatest story I've ever heard. And if it's true, then I don't want to do what I've seen my friends do. Like I've seen my friends go to Christian camps in the summer or go to youth group, retreats or whatever, and come back on this Christian high that lasts for, 2 or 3 weeks. And then they're my drinking buddies again, and we can go have fun. Like, okay, great. Glad you got that Christian stuff out of your system. Let's go back and be ourselves. Right. But man, when I finally heard about how Jesus loves me, I was like, dude, if this is real, then I'm all in. And if I'm all in, that means this isn't some Christian high. This isn't some thing that I'm going to stop believing, because if it's real, it's real. Right. So I started just trying to learn about my faith and get involved in Bible studies and small groups and go to church and do all this stuff. But I was still doing all the wakeboard stuff too. And I was still going to the parties, and I was still being there, but I was trying to live differently there. And I was trying to live differently in my life with religion and stuff. And I was just getting this pull between two worlds. My wakeboard buddies wanted fun old Mark back. Hey, quit hanging out with those Christian people. Come back and be with us. And my Christian friends and mentors and people were like, hey, you need to really cut out this this wakeboard lifestyle, because it's if you're there, you're not going to be able to live a full life for the Lord. And I was like, dude, this sucks. I don't feel like I belong in either space. And there wasn't really anybody that I could look at aside from Sean Murray, who was this,
That was the one name I was going to.
Yeah. And the only reason I knew about Murray is because of if you watch Six Pack, the very end, after the credits and everything, there's little behind the scenes snippets, and Murray talks about being a Christian. And I was like, oh, dude, there is a pro who believes in Jesus. That's a glimmer of hope. But yeah, so I just had these two worlds that both of them wanted me in it, and they didn't want me in the other. And so I felt like I couldn't be a Christian and a wakeboarder at the same time. And I didn't know how to not be a wakeboarder, because that's where my identity was. Like I said, it was my first love. I'm not leaving wakeboarding. I just can't. But then if I actually had this real transformative, actual experience with Jesus, and I believe he's real, then I can't pretend that he's not. And so WakeWell is here to tell people that, hey, you can be a wakeboarder. You can be a wake surfer. You can be all in wake, and you can love Jesus at the same time. And you can do that because he loves you like crazy. And so that's why WakeWell exists. Now, the way that pans out is we have WakeWell chapters all across the nation and even internationally, where riders get together, they ride, they hang out, they have fun, and they hear a short message at the end of the night. And so we have chapters at cable parks where they say, hey, it's Tuesday and we're doing WakeWell every Tuesday night at the wake park. So come hang out. We'll play games on the cable. We'll try for different tricks. We'll do, stupid fun stuff like how many surface 360s you can do in a lap, which is harder than you think. Trust me. And then at the end of the night, someone's going to share a short Bible message in a way that you understand it, because we're going to talk about wakeboarding through it. Like if you go on a mission trip somewhere, or you go to some tribe in the Amazon, you're not going to be very effective talking to them about anything if you don't speak the language. Well, man, in wakeboarding, in wake surfing, in wake, like we have our own language, we have our own customs, we have our own values. And those things help create this culture. And so WakeWell wants to tell the people in the culture that, man, there's a God that's crazy about them, that loves them so much. And ultimately, we believe that he sent his son to die so that you can have life to the full. And so I've been doing WakeWell since 2011, and man, it's continued to grow, and God has opened so many doors with it. And it's my full-time job. When I'm not Mark on the mic, I'm WakeWell.
Or snakes.
Yeah. Snakes helps. So that's WakeWell in a nutshell.
So I guess, like, other than on each night at the cable, like, what is I don't want to say the business, or what is the organization of WakeWell? Like, what do you guys do other than what you already said?
Yeah. So we have boat chapters and we have cable chapters, and the organization. So we have 4 people on staff for WakeWell, and our job is to help to equip and encourage those chapters with everything they need. So whether that's the messages, the marketing, whatever they need in order to be successful doing ministry in their local area, that's what we're here for. Now, in addition to all the chapter stuff, where those chapters are meeting, most of them are meeting weekly during the on season. They're getting together, riding together. We also do Wake Church at the events that go over a Sunday. So like this weekend at the Malibu event is a Saturday, Sunday event. So Sunday morning, we host Wake Church. On a Sunday, if the contest is there, chances are the riders they're not able to go to their own church, or maybe they're traveling out of town and they're not able to attend the church that they're at. So we bring the church to the people. And oddly enough, we have a lot of people say, I wouldn't step foot in a church in my hometown, or, I've been burned by the church plenty of times, and I've totally given off going to church, but I'll come to Wake Church. That's something that I could get on board with. I want to hear what you have to say. And so, man, we just try and love people at the contest and serve them well. We bring free coffee and free donuts for everyone to just come, hang out, have a good time, and hear a little message about a God who loves them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question about WakeWell.
Let's hear it.
And I don't know if this is accurate information, but is it true that WakeWell offered to pay for the prize purse of the women on the Pro Wakeboard Tour? By the smile I'm judging, there might be some truth to this.
Yes. Yeah. WakeWell did offer that. So it was in a year where the women were being cut from the tour, and when asking around and asking why, it came down to funding. And so I like, dude, I get it. I understand. Like if money's not there, something's got to go. And you know, what are you going to cut? I don't know. I wouldn't have cut women, but that's someone's decision. So I said, okay, great. Well, what are we looking at? How, if it's prize money, how much do we need? Like, what if I went and raised it? And so they said, well, go try. So I said, great. I made a couple phone calls, and very quickly I raised a large sum of money, just saying, hey, I believe in the women. Like,
This is what this is.
yeah, this is what it is.
Can we do something?
I am raising money from private individuals, telling them, hey, I'm going to give your money away to the women.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's prize money. I'm not keeping any of it for myself. This is going
Simply
from you to
messenger
them.
here.
Yeah. Would you be willing to do it if they pull the trigger on it?
Yeah.
If they give me the green light, would you give me that money? And they said yeah. So I don't remember how much money I raised. I think it was probably in like the 20 to 25 grand like realm. And then I said, okay, great. I have this much money committed. Can we do the women on tour? And they said no.
What was the reason?
I think a lot of it was a timing issue. It was pinched too fast. Like it was to make the call and make it happen. It wasn't going to work, or at least that's the grace that I'll give them, I guess. I don't know. They didn't give me a ton of reasons for it, but I did have donors that said, hey, listen, we still want to give. What do you think we should do with it? And so Alliance, I think later that fall, did the, what did they call it? It was like the body.
Like the Moxie Pro.
Yeah, the
Look at
Moxie
that
Pro.
poll.
Yeah, hey, well done, Wake Trivia. And so WakeWell provided the prize money for the Moxie Pro for the boat stuff and the cable stuff. I think we gave. Yeah, we gave all the money for the prize stuff.
There, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Interesting. Was there ever any like following years follow up with the tour? Like, hey, could we do this? Like, could we time this better and make this happen? Was there any ability for you to raise more money for it to be like a yearly thing, or did it just kind of fizzle out?
No, it fizzled out to a certain extent, but it was more like I wanted to make a point of, hey, we don't have because we don't ask. Like, and maybe we're just asking the wrong people if we are asking. But, you know, I feel like there's enough people who believe in wakeboarding that if we just ask, we can get the money. Like, so, you know, I know that sponsorships and company dollars and whatever like that, those are great. But man, if we can't find it there, then I think we can look other places. And the problem that I think we ran into with it is, man, I have donors that are willing to do it for 1 year, maybe 2 years, but it's probably like, dude, to raise, I don't want a job of raising an extra $25,000 a year just for prize money. Because I'm having to raise all the money to fund WakeWell already. And so it's one of those things where it's like, man, I know it's possible and I can prove it.
Everything's possible, right?
Yeah, because we can go ask. And ultimately it didn't pan out that year for Pro Tour stuff, but thankfully we got to give it away for Moxie Pro stuff.
Yeah, at least something happened with it, which is awesome. And Moxie Pro, I feel like I haven't talked to a lot of girls that rode in it. I should. I just always forget to ask, but it seemed like a pretty badass.
Yeah.
thing.
I think Jamie Lapina won
She's
all of it.
Yeah,
like,
she
WakeWell
she
just
cleaned up for sure.
Yeah, WakeWell gave Jamie like a ton of money, and we love her for it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she cleaned up in all accounts. It was like cable, boat, and overall, it was Jamie.
I have a bad idea and bad thought in my head. I want to put like a counter on the wall, days since women have been on the pro wakeboard tour, and then just like add it every single day. That seems like I'd piss some people off, but it seems like it's a good idea. Yeah. So I might do it.
It's a good way to make some friends and some enemies, probably.
Well, your sport also looks like a fucking joke when you don't have women on the highest level of the pro wakeboard tour. So that's a tough look too.
It is. But hey, dude, I mean, we're just coming off of Masters weekend where Megan Ethel
was head and shoulders above everybody else.
Threw down the very first women's X-Mob behind the boat, X-Mob 5 behind the boat. Pretty sick.
Are you an X-Mob guy or a Switch Pete guy? Because I'm a Switch Pete guy.
Oh, dude, X-Mob all the way. Yeah,
that's your age.
Call it what it is.
Switch Pete 5. So, also, I mean, in the last episode with the water skiers, I had on Joel, Freddie, and Brooks. We talked a little bit about that. But yeah, shouldn't slide under the radar. Yeah. You know, 9-time champ, Switch Pete 5 in a run.
Yeah. Well,
it's crazy. Almost at the dock after though.
You know,
it's great.
One of the topics, you know, that we could get into is like the difference in competing in the sport to win versus competing to push the progression.
She didn't need to do that.
She did not need to do that. She didn't need to. And I like, it's a tricky thing because, you know, our athletes, like, a lot of them depend on getting paid. Like that's a portion of their annual budget that they're trying to get. Like, so I understand going out there and doing the same stock run. If it's working and you got to pay bills, throw down, like do your thing. But also like how long have we been doing Crow 5s in contests? A long time. And you know,
Crow 5s, toe 9s, baby.
And you know what? It's not that impressive anymore. Like, and so I get it. It's tricky. It's a nuanced conversation. But I look at a guy like Sam Brown, who is going out and throwing Crow 7s. He doesn't need to, but he is. And that's sick because I feel like that is the thing that when one dude or one girl starts putting, like when they start getting more dangerous with a trick, it forces everyone's level to rise, you know? And I think we need more of that and less safety tricks, less Crow 5s.
That's interesting.
That's my hot take for you.
That is a hot take.
Yeah, I'm over Crow 5s.
I think a lot of people are over Crow 5s.
Yeah.
That is an interesting take because I'm thinking of like contests, right? The goal is to find the best wakeboarder on that day and you reward him for it, putting down the best run. And a lot of times that is just the consistent, high level tricks, but not pushing the boundaries of it.
Well, and dude, it's a strategy for sure.
And
like,
it's a game. Contests are games.
Dude, if you're playing chess and you see what's happening, what's around you, or if you're first off the dock, like, dude, going for broke right out of the gate might not pan out well.
Yeah.
So I get it. You want to lay down your stock run. You want to do the thing that will get you paid. Like, and it's been Old Faithful for you for the last X amount of seasons or whatever. I get it. But also the need for progression in the sport is what is going to hopefully put more eyes on the sport, bring more people into the sport, keep more people involved in the sport, keep the sport growing because more people are now trying to catch you. Like that's important too.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's like the flavors of contests, right? Because you'll watch a live stream contest and you'll see Ulf is on, up next. And it's like, oh, I'm watching, dude.
Yeah. He's bonkers.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
Like, or Nick Rappo, who's like the textbook, like stock run, play it safe, do what you got to do. I'm still watching him, but when I hear Ulf's coming up, it's like, or Sam Brown, it's like, damn, they might fall.
Yeah.
And it might be a fiery crash. But if they don't,
but it could be sick.
it's something really special.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Not to take away from Nick at all, but
another trick that in like the pro men's realm of contest riding has become like kind of this filler trick is like a wrapped Indy 3-to-1.
T-Herm, the T-Herm special. T-Herm busts those out like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, that's great. But if it's just a filler trick and everyone's doing it, then let's stop doing it. Like, let's diversify it. Like a handful of years ago, so Tyler Hyam used to do Indy 3-to-1, and then he switched it to a tail poke, and I was like, oh, dude, that's sick. Like even a little tweak on it.
Yeah.
But just recently, we've seen people start doing the 3-to-3.
Yep.
And that, like, I'm like, dude, that's high risk. But the more people that start doing that regularly, it's going to rise the level of the competitive sport. Like, that's what we need in order to keep the ball moving. We don't. Again, I get it. You're there. You're not there to fall. You're there to win.
Yeah.
And that plays into it.
That's why you love to see the victory lap too. Like, it doesn't really happen in boat as much. I mean, you could kind of consider Megan's hit a victory lap in a sense. I mean, I think she needed to land, but she could have done a much less difficult trick and still won.
100%.
And she's out in front of the dock.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, she could have done a roll to blind that she's done
a million of. Yeah.
And she said, nope, I'm going switch toe.
P5.
X
Switch
mode.
P5.
Yeah. The X mode.
I love this. Yeah, but you also see like last year in Red Bull Wake the City, Trent did double mob off on their victory lap.
Yeah.
Double mob off the kicker.
Mental.
And it's like,
didn't need to do
those
it.
moments. Did the people watching know that was double mob and that doesn't happen all that often? No. Did they know it was crazy? Because a lot of people were going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. And those are special moments, right? In the sport. So that's a good point. You brought that up. I like that. Let's shift gears into Wake Awards. Because me and you have talked about Wake Awards a little bit.
We have.
She gone.
Or
could she come back? Should she come back? Does she need to come back?
Are those all the questions?
Those are all the questions.
Man, yes, I hope. Yes, please. I think, whether it's Wake Awards or not, I feel that our sport, that every sport, like we need something to honor the athletes at the end of each season. Who's pushed it? Who's landed stuff? Who fought hard? Who, like, all the things, like the award, who, doing the content stuff. Like, gosh, it's such a content driven sport right now because we're not on TV. We're on the internet. We're on like social media stuff. So man, who's putting together that stuff? I feel like we've got to have something to honor the athletes. Like when Wake Awards was happening at Surf Expo, dude, it was the most coveted night in Wake. Everyone wanted to be at Beers and Premiers at the Alliance booth, and then everyone wanted to be at Wake Awards. And it was electric. Like, there was nothing better. And now we live in this day and age where there's no event where the entire industry is getting together to celebrate, to have fun, to let loose, to just sit back and chat with your friends. Like, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're missing out on a lot.
I think without an event like that, it's hard. Your sport does not feel as tangible or as real, or activity, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. Makes wakeboarding feel real and tangible. I would never even attended one of these, but everybody says the exact same thing you're saying. You celebrate the athletes, you celebrate all the people who helped create all the content, contests, all this stuff, and it makes it real. It's like, yeah, this is how we kind of take this whole season and shove it into one night and wrap it up, and it's needed.
Yeah. Well, and like, dude, the like secrecy behind like what was coming out at Wakeboard, who's submitting tricks of the year. Like what I'm landing it and I'm only telling the people that were in the boat, and all you are sworn to secrecy. Like you cannot tell anybody. No one talks until we show it at Wake Awards. And like, dude, there was something so special about that. And you were in a room with all the Wake fans.
Everybody who cares about this goofy ass thing just as much as you do.
Yeah. And then you're watching the sport progress before your eyes, like banger after banger after banger. Like there was nothing like it. It seriously was unbelievable.
Yeah. So how do we get it? How do we make it happen?
I don't know.
What do we got to do?
And honestly, I don't think resurrecting it in its old form is going to be as effective.
I think you could say the same for wakeboarding as a whole. We can't resurrect 2006 wakeboarding.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't have the creativity of what does it look like now to do something new that has never been done,
but fills the same kind of gap.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it needs to happen. Something's got to happen.
Yeah.
And the reality, like, I think for a while, Wakeboarding Mag and the Wake Awards and everything, like they have done their best to try and keep that same energy into an online virtual Wake Awards thing. And I think it has filled a little bit of the gap, but ultimately, like, it's not the same. And I don't know if that's like the old head in me saying,
no, it's
like,
not. You're right.
But that electricity in a room
it's not, if it's just online, it's not real, because the internet is not real.
It's not real, dude.
So
birds aren't real.
Yeah, you're right. Earth is flat. I'm gonna cut that part out. I don't believe that. I'm not gonna cut it out. Whatever. So I guess we can kind of move into Wakeboarding Mag's Instagram account. Do you run that?
No.
Do you know who runs that?
I don't know.
Have you ever had the login?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Sure.
Because I had a little birdie tell me that you might have had the login.
Oh, yeah.
If someone were to want to buy a Wakeboarding Mag account, how much do you think they would need to pay?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So there was a time when it was kind of changing hands between a handful of people, and I jumped on there and would do some stuff every now and then, post some results, do like a little bit of content.
Yeah, for free. You a little biscuit for that?
Yeah, probably a little biscuit. Yeah, and I was writing articles for the mag and doing some other stuff for them too. And I still do like some other stuff for Wakeboarding Mag, but there's just a lot of minimal stuff.
Yeah, definitely on the side.
Yeah, trying to, it's just different now.
Was it a hard password? Was it a long password?
Did it have
a wakeboarding 1 2 3 4 exclamation?
How many vowels did it have? Can I buy a vowel?
What street did you grow up on?
Yeah.
What's your mother's birthday?
Yeah, your first dog.
All right. I just want to get into general. How do you feel about the state of wakeboarding right now? You're pretty tapped in. You go to a lot of events.
Yeah.
You talk about it. You think about it. How do you feel about it?
You know, it's hard. It's hard not to love it. Like I love every bit of wakeboarding.
Yeah.
I love it genuinely. Like it's not a show. I'm not.
Well, you can't fake it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I genuinely love wakeboarding, and I would challenge most people that, like, dude, I love it more than you. Like, not necessarily like the activity of wakeboarding, but
you
just
standing
like
on the board.
But just the sport as a whole. And so, man, I really think wakeboarding's in an okay spot. I don't think it's as good as it ever has been. Like, this isn't the heyday of wakeboarding. These are not the golden years. Like, we look back fondly on the insanity of wakeboarding and how big it was, or at least how big it felt at the time.
Yeah.
And that's not where it is now. I do think that wakeboarding's in an okay spot, but like I said, I think a lot of it, I think we have relied on creating a bunch of enthusiasts lately, and we haven't spent as a whole, like, we haven't spent a whole lot of time turning those enthusiasts into participants, and getting them involved. So I don't know if that like fully answers the question.
I think okay is a good way to put it. I don't think it's in a terrible state at all.
Yeah.
Which some people might believe.
Yeah. There's, I think there's a lot of people that want to say, wakeboarding is dead. It's dying. It's never coming back. Like it's on the outs.
There's a couple of Facebook commenters that believe that more than they believe in air itself.
Yeah. It's a sinking ship. And if you're still standing on it, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's the state of wakeboarding at all. So yeah, I agree. I think it's in an okay spot, and I hope that we can continue to trend upward. Like, I mean, dude, honestly, like you look at the world as a whole, I think the world is in an okay spot. Like,
it's a good way to put it.
so based on global averages, I think wakeboarding's okay.
And we're on par.
Yeah, I think we're kind of in line with a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of room to do some cool stuff.
Yeah,
for sure. So let's shift gears into top tall riders and top ginger riders of all time. I think me and you just kind of have a little back and forth here. We just kind of think of some gingers.
Okay.
Our brethren.
Dude, I could go all day.
And then some tall riders. Should we try and go every other for redheads? I don't know how far I'll make it, but we can try.
Yeah, how many think you can pull out? I mean, let's go.
4 or 5.
Hey, I'll give you first shot.
I'm going to go with the obvious, easy one.
Okay.
Bobsleigh.
That's a great one. Okay. I'll take Julia Rick because we already said her. Okay. So so I'll give you another freebie. Okay.
Is Amber Wing? Can we count that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Again, I said I'm colorblind before, so this is going to be a tough one for me.
Yeah. I mean, but you can recognize your own kind, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Amber Wing, arguably one of the greatest gingers to ever ride a board.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, definitely.
Like she's up there. She's in the redheaded wakeboard Hall of Fame.
It would be small,
but she's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
first out.
Probably in like regular wakeboard Hall of Fame too.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I don't keep tabs on the Wakeboard Hall of Fame.
But also the redhead one, she's up there.
For sure. All right. So who you got?
Noah Flegel.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean,
think about that one.
One of the greatest all-around watermen of all time. Yep. I'd put Noah against just about anybody in a decathlon of water sports.
Yeah, you really could. Wake skating, wakeboarding, wake surfing, foiling, reel surfing,
free diving, fishing, like
true.
All of it.
Anything water, kid's got it.
He can do it.
I don't know if this one's right. Is Megan Ethel redhead? Where would she stand on that?
I don't know where she would stand on it.
Am I wrong?
I think I'm wrong. There might be a
more obvious answer.
A tint of reddish, but I don't know that she would claim it.
I don't think she would.
Yeah.
I think I'm wrong. I think I just ended my list.
Yeah, you feel bad?
Yeah, I do. Who else you got? You got any other big names that I'm obviously missing?
Yeah, probably. Let me think real quick.
We hit the big obvious ones.
Yeah, so back in the day there was Dana Preble was a redhead. She rode for O'Brien, I believe.
Okay. It's hard to make it as a professional being soulless ginger.
Yeah, there's a dude here in Orlando. I don't know if he ever like fully went pro, but he was junior pro for sure. Freddie Wayne.
That name rings a bell.
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
I
don't know if Rivers Hedrick is redhead or not. I'm giving up myself. I don't know. I'm apparently not of the kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a ton.
Yeah. No.
Let's shift gears to tall wakeboarders.
We're in a select group.
Who's the big tall guys?
The most in my mind iconic tallest wakeboarder would be Ryan Sebring. If you haven't ever watched Ryan Sebring ride, I mean the dude was tall, like well over 6 foot.
I think 6 foot's the threshold here for this.
And he was riding like the Liquid Force Super Squirt. So like
you're plowing.
felt even taller.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, Ryan Sebring's probably the tallest dude to be the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's a good way to put that.
You know,
Yeah,
if you're up there, he's probably the tallest great pro.
yeah.
But dude, I mean, Rusty's probably over 6 foot. He's He's a big dude.
How tall is Mitch Langfeld? Is he not that tall?
Chris O is
pretty big too. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris O is pretty tall. I don't think Mitch is taller than most, but
not that tall.
But I wouldn't be like, oh, dude, you're tall.
Tall guy.
I mean, dude, Brad Smela.
That's true.
Brad was pretty tall. Trying to think. Like Shannon Best was pretty tall. Jeremy Kovac was pretty tall.
Nicola Duck, I can go on the cable side of things. He's
Yeah.
pretty tall.
Yeah.
Wesley Mark Jacobson's very tall.
Yeah, dude, Wes. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
in the, yeah.
Yeah, Wes is tall. So
All right.
we're a select group. We
Yeah.
weren't built for wakeboarding.
Absolutely
but
not.
Gosh darn it, we've tried our best.
You force it. It's one of those force it situations, and you just do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk setup. What do you when you do go wakeboarding?
Yeah.
What do you on? Board, boots, bindings, boat length, or
Yeah.
board length, rope length.
Whoa.
All the details.
Oh, dude, should have written these down. So on the cable, I'm riding the Hyperlight Blacklist. I like it. It's a great board. The longest one, whatever the big size is.
Yeah.
I don't go by. I don't measure my boards in centimeters anymore. I say which one's the longest.
Just give me the biggest one.
Give me the biggest.
Yep.
I don't want the medium. I don't want the small. I want the big one. And so they give me the big one.
I'm on the same wave.
Yeah. And then behind the boat, I have previously been on an old deck, which is it's JD Webb's old board. I'm trying to think of what it was.
That is an old deck.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But this season I'll be on the Capitol.
Okay, so you're a Hyperlight guy.
Yeah, Hyperlight has been very kind to me. My Hyperlight rep, Brian White, big shout out, Brian White. Thank you for all you do. He's supported me and helped me for years. And like I said, even before that,
I was gonna say you when we go way back to the beginning of this pod, you said,
yeah, Hyperlight was my very first flow sponsor, and then I bounced around for a little bit in the middle there, and then man, I came back home. And I love the crew at Hyperlight. I love what they do. I like their boards. So
there you go.
yeah, who can argue with that?
What about rope length, boat speed when you're on the boat? Or are you not picky?
Yeah, I'm not too picky. I'll ride like probably 70 is pretty typical. Towards the end of the season, I might let that out like a half link.
Okay.
I might go like 72-ish, but if I'm being real, I'll go 70 and then slow the boat down a little bit. So I ride a little slower than most dudes, you know, based on whatever boat it is, how much weight there is, whatever. But whatever everyone else is riding at, I'll go a little tick slower.
Bump it down a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's that.
That's fair. I think before we wrap it up, we got another Patreon question from Garrett Cortez. Jacob Simmons was the other one that asked about the snakes, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So
nice.
I got some snake tips, but Jacob I think he was the first one.
Plenty of snake questions.
What's your favorite cable park in the world? Yes, you have to pick just one. And he's got a second part to this, which is coolest on-water wake thing you've seen in person.
Wow. Favorite wake park in the world.
Got to pick one.
Yeah. Okay. I would say that I agree with Trent Stuckey in that Terminus is my favorite wake park. I love it there. And it's the obstacles, but it's the vibe. Like the crew at Terminus is awesome. Like the setup they have,
Fast laps.
yeah, it's just a fun spot. And I really enjoy riding there.
Yeah.
I have some really fond memories of riding at Terminus.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Great answer. Second part, Coolest on-water wake thing you've seen in person?
Coolest on water wake thing I've seen in person. There's been a lot. Like there are probably more cool on water wake things that I've forgotten about
It's fair.
than I could ever tell you in this moment. But yeah, like I remember it was during the Vans. I think it was a monster triple crown, or God, what did they call it then? It was an event at Terminus, and Yonel Cohen was like practicing the day before, and so we were all there like hanging out, and I remember he was cutting in, and it was like the first time like his friends had talked him into trying a double Pete. And this was like 2017 or something. This was so far beyond the comprehension. Like people were doing double cab rolls like pretty regularly. Okay. Yeah. But you're going in toe side and doing toe back roll to 3. It was insane. And Yonel just dropping out of the sky. Like that was crazy.
Did he land it?
No.
No, he just tried it.
No, but he got as close as he could have. He gave it a couple good hucks.
Yeah.
And didn't put it down, at least then. But yeah, I mean, dude, like some of the most impressive stuff is like I am a contest lover. Like I love the competition in wake. I love watching an athlete having to turn it on when it matters most and put it down. Like you're doing it under pressure. You've seen, what your friends are doing, and now it's time to do it. And so like watching Trent and Gavin do a contest cable lap is insane. It's crazy because watching them do, one trick or 2 tricks when they're free riding, like linking stuff together, it's impressive. But then to watch them do a full lap of not like, I don't know how they breathe.
They smoke a lot of cigarettes, I heard.
Yeah.
Keep the lungs strong.
Yeah. It's gotta be it. Yeah. It's so like that stuff is super impressive to me. Like watching the one-off tricks, like those are cool. And they have all the respect out there, but man, when you put it down in a contest and like you just crush it.
There's something beautiful about just putting together lines, like with no reverts or anything, where it's just like high-level tricks following high-level tricks, and it's just in a line of just navigation. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Satisfying.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it's about in my mind. Is it's not about like winning a contest or doing whatever, but it's like, dude, when it comes to that moment, you did exactly what you trained for.
Yeah.
You did what you wanted to do, and you showed everybody like why you've dedicated yourself to this craft. Like that was proof that it was worth it.
Yeah.
And that's sick. Like that's just the story of an athlete. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I love when that happens at any contest, at any level. Like, dude, when you go out there and you crush it, I'm going to be stoked for you because that's what it's about.
I agree. Those are good moments. And like we were talking, I don't know if this was before the podcast, but how wakeboarding maybe has gone from like, people thinking contests are whack or whatever. It's like, they're cool, man. They're just, accept them for what they are. Don't want them to be something they're not. But once you just do that, they're awesome. They can be awesome.
Yeah.
They can be awesome. Not all of them are awesome, but they can be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's like, dude, take it seriously, but don't be too serious.
yeah. Take it seriously. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, be good at what you do and have pride in what you're putting down, but
have fun.
But have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And be stoked for everybody else.
True.
Like, so
it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's actually easier to be stoked for other people than it is to be stoked for yourself, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's kind of hard to be stoked for yourself sometimes. I don't know.
Well, like we have a tendency to be harder on ourselves for sure.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, to be stoked for others, to be stoked for yourself, and man, it's like, dude, if we can just be encouraging to one another, like that's a huge win.
Absolutely. All right. I mean, before we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to touch on or anybody you want to thank?
I mean, dude, the list of people to thank is enormous. Like from, mom and dad, thanks. My true first sponsor.
Everybody's first sponsor, yeah.
Mom and dad, thanks.
And some wakeboarders current sponsors still.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, dude, the crew at Hyperlight has been so good to me. Super thankful to them. The crew at Hydrus, Dan Jarrett, the old crew from Texas, all those dudes, WakeWell, and the staff we have, the leaders we have. Like, man, if anyone is interested in starting a chapter for WakeWell, it's free to start a chapter. You just got to reach out to us. So we would love to help you with that. Yeah, I mean, dude, I've had an incredible. This isn't like I don't mean to say it as like a brag, but like I've had an incredible career in wake by my own standards. And the phrase that I say is like, junior high Mark would be freaking out right now. Like he would be so stoked, like disbelief of the things I've gotten to do, the people I get to talk to, the friends that I have, the opportunities that ultimately God has opened up for me, because there's no reason that a 6'5" guy from Texas who can't, like I'm not a great wakeboarder. I'm not just good, but I'm good enough, So there's no reason why I should still be here. But man, I'm thankful for every single person who's helped me to be here along the way, and just, trying to be thankful. Like, dude, the crew at the WWA, Shannon and Corey, have given me unfathomable opportunities that junior high Mark would be in disbelief. Like, so yeah, they're like, again, there's so many, thank you for having me on the podcast, inviting me over to your wonderful studio that I get
corner here in the house,
Yeah, dude, it's legit. And there is some real history on these walls.
There is. We keep adding to it. We're adding to it today, actually.
Yeah.
With what you brought.
Hey.
So, well, thank you.
It's all fun and games until someone pokes an eye out.
That's true. Thank you for all that you've done. Obviously, it's important to have people who know what they're talking about behind the scenes on the mics and talking about the sport, because it's very obvious when you have someone that doesn't know what they're talking about, and that's not good for the sport, because you're not educating, you're not entertaining, you're kind of almost doing a disservice to the people on the water and the people watching. So thank you for taking it seriously, because it is a job that needs to be taken serious, and obviously the people who have allowed you to do that as well. Thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Your guys' support is really what keeps this podcast going. So thank you. We will see you guys in the next episode.